It's been scientifically shown that people who regularly read up on extra knowledge are better at handling complex tasks and in general have a higher IQ than most people.
What?
And to test that theory, we've created this quiz that's designed to test your scientific, pop culture, history, and geographical knowledge to see how you measure up. So brush the dust off those old brain shelves because here is our 15-question challenge. You'll have 10 seconds to answer each question, and after that, we'll give you an answer and move on to the next question. Best of luck, and remember, no cheating! The first multicellular living organism sent into space was A. Neil Armstrong, B. Some random fruit flies, C. Laika the dog, D. A mustard plant. The correct answer is option B, the random fruit flies. You see, living things had been going to space unintentionally in the form of microscopic bacteria ever since we sent Sputnik into space. The first real multicellular things ever sent to space were a bunch of fruit flies, which NASA encapsulated into a V-2 rocket on 20th February 1947. So, in truth, it was one giant leap for arthropods all along. What is the largest man-made object to ever take flight? A. The Antonov 225. B. The Saturn V rocket. C. Hindenburg airship. D. H-4 Hercules, the Spruce Goose. And the answer is all of them.
Nice.
Depending on what is your criteria for the largest object, the Saturn V was the heaviest, Hindenburg with the largest volume, H-4 Hercules with the largest wingspan, and the Antonov having the record for the longest powered airplane. Speaking of the Zeppelins, which gas has the lowest reactivity on the planet and can never exist as a solid? A. Xenon, B. Hydrogen, C. Nitrogen, D. Helium. The answer this time around is option D, helium. That's right. While hydrogen is definitely lighter, helium has some special abilities it gains by having a complete electron shell and a very small mass, making it almost impossible to react. The following historical leader is responsible for getting a month named after him. The downfall of one of the strongest governments in history is the subject of Shakespearean tragedy, and died in the most famous betrayal of all time. A. Ramses II, B. Julius Caesar, C. Henry IV, D. Napoleon Bonaparte. The holder of this colorful list of achievements of everyone's favorite stabbing target, Julius Caesar. He was the longest-running consul of Rome, created the Julian calendar with the newly renamed month of July, was the cause which led to the Roman Republic's eventual downfall, and is prominently featured in the creatively named play about him, Julius Caesar. Bravo, Shakespeare! You really outdid yourself with that one. What is the largest organ of the human body? A. The lungs, B. The large intestine, C. The skin, D. The spinal cord. The answer this time around is, shockingly enough, the skin. Because while a lot of us might consider skin to be just a thin film of cells, it is a fully complex and multi-layered organ that qualifies as an organ through and through, and is the largest one both in terms of area as well as mass. Now this one is a spin on an old classic. I bet all of you guys already know the name of the longest river in the world. It's the Nile. But that's not the only way to judge a river. A better question would be, what's the name of the largest river in the world? Largeness, in this case, is the amount of water it carries. A. the Nile, B. the Yangtze, C. the Indus River, D. the Amazon River. The answer here, by a long shot, is the Amazon. Discharging a massive 220,000 meter cubes of water every second, this single river is responsible for a sixth of the entire world's fresh water that goes into the ocean. Not only that, but during the wet season, the width of the river can reach a mind-boggling 50 kilometers. This is another mind teaser. Name the country in which it was illegal for a common man to die in the parliament. A. Russia, B. the United States, C. Saudi Arabia, D. the United Kingdom. And the originator of this weirdly specific law is everyone's favorite former empire, the United Kingdom. The reason for this law was another archaic principle according to which every person who died in the Houses of the Parliament was to be given a royal funeral. And since that was not possible, they made a habit to declare all commoner deaths only once the body had been brought outside the buildings. Now, if you're doing good on this quiz, chances are you're a bit of a reader, which makes this the perfect question for you. What's the most stolen book in the United States? A. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, B. Thomas's Calculus, C. The Book Thief, D. Guinness Book of World Records. And the name of that extremely desirable book is not the Book Thief, but the Guinness Book of World Records. Now, why that is the case, I have one theory: kids. Since kids are the most likely to read that kind of stuff, and since most kids are extremely dumb, it's not a stretch to imagine them taking it out and never putting it back. Which substance acts as an extremely powerful antioxidant, has lethal antifungal and antimicrobial qualities, is so deadly to bacteria that as soon as they enter it, their bodies decompose and is, at the same time, is entirely edible? A. Olive oil, B. Epinephrine, C. Aloe vera gel, D. Honey. And that miracle substance is none other than Winnie the Pooh's favorite treat, honey. Due to the extremely high sugar content making it hydrophilic, meaning any object inside it will have its water sucked out, and due to the protective enzymes added to it by honeybees, this golden substance is truly incredible. The following food items were not found in the Old World, Europe, Asia, and Africa before the 1500s. A. Tomatoes, B. Chocolate, C. Corn, D. Potatoes. And the answer this time around is all of them. That's right. These necessary food items all over the world, many of which are most associated with Old World places like Italian tomato sauces, French fries, and Belgian chocolate, were all introduced after Columbus discovered America. Now, this is an extremely apocalyptic question, but bear with me. If the sun were to disappear from the sky, how long would it take for us to notice? A. Immediately. B. Within the first second. C. A little over 8 minutes. D. Like an hour. And the answer here is option C, a little over 8 minutes. The reason? It takes light 8 minutes to reach us from the sun, and as a result, the light that left the moment the sun disappeared would still be reaching us 8 minutes after the disappearance. Creepy. A paleo fan? Riddle me this. Which one of these is a dinosaur? A. Pterosaurolophus, B. Pterodactyl, C. Mosasaur, D. Ichthyosaur. The answer this time around is option A, Pterosaurolophus. The rest of these guys, They may have been around the same time, but they are taxonomically not dinosaurs. Let's take a look at something newer now, shall we? This country was recently formed due to a split between a formerly united territory and can be called the newest country on Earth. Which country is it? A. Northern Ireland. B. Moldova. C. Kosovo. D. South Sudan. And the answer this time is South Sudan. Formed as the result of the Sudanese civil war between the southern Christian and northern Muslim-dominated regions, this is the latest internationally recognized state, having gained independence in 2011. Dialing back a few years, which Greek philosopher is famous for having insulted Alexander in the face, sleeping with dogs, and hanging around naked in public? A. Zeno. B. Pythagoras. C. Epicurus. D. Diogenes. The answer this time around is everyone's favorite hobo philosopher, Diogenes. Known for his renouncement of manners and social customs and acceptance of philosophy, few have the legacy of this guy. Finally, coming to the end of the list, the rare disease Kuru is accurately described as A. Caused by a change in melanin structure, causing changing of skin color to a bright blue. B. Caused by a special virus as a brain-altering substance, causing extreme real hallucinations. C. Caused by eating human brains, causing people to become slow, walking and limping zombie-like creatures, eventually stopping their brain functions like speech. D. Caused by eating a special kind of mold, making people laugh uncontrollably for weeks on end until many die of exhaustion. And the answer this time around is option C. That's right, this disease is a result of cannibalizing human brains. Found most commonly in a tribe in New Guinea, where the locals ritually eat their dead as a funeral rite. And well, that covers this video. I hope you had fun playing along, and if you did and want to watch more, always make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And with that, it's time to wrap up. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Can you guess these TikTok songs by emojis? Check out that quiz right here.